Alright, video number 2. I watched the first video and it wasn't too awkward, so we're going to give it a whirl. Alright, for the second video, I'm going to focus on the role of the media during elections and rising campaign costs impact. So I want us to tie this all together when we're thinking about functions of political parties, when we're thinking about the political spectrum, when we're thinking about campaigning. It really is just a really nasty competition that comes down to people's ideas. When we look at the Constitution, you can look at it in many different ways, and that's how our nation basically divided into those two major political parties. Now, don't forget, we have third parties. They do matter, but they don't ever win. Why? Because they can't get to that 80%. A majority of the people are right in the middle. We're not too hard left Democrat. We're not too hard right conservative. We're moderate. We're in the middle. And third parties kind of fall in that 2 to 3% of people vote for them. One of the biggest players in campaigning is the media. You guys are surrounded by the media. Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. A lot of you read the news on Instagram. So there are different strategies for you guys to evaluate the media. There are 4 major ones your SWL wants you to know. Separating fact from opinion, detecting bias, evaluating your sources, and identifying propaganda. So let's break those down. Separating facts from opinion. Fact: I'm wearing a headband. Opinion: I look like the most beautiful woman in my headband ever. A fact is something I can prove. You are literally looking at me wearing this headband. An opinion is, some of you might think it's really ugly, some of you might think it's cute, and some of you might not even really care. So an opinion is basically your own beliefs, but a fact is something that you can prove. 2, detecting bias. This is where you're reading an article and it's favoring one side over the other. So one reason why we watch CNN in class is because it's very unbiased. It's going to take a little bit of conservative views and a little bit of liberal views, and it's going to try and rank it out and just give you the cold, hard facts without putting their opinion in it. Depending on the different news stations you read, it might be very left-wing Democrat or very right-wing conservative, and that could really change your tune. Let's talk about how we just bombed Afghanistan. If you read a conservative article, it's really going to root that on and say we did the best thing ever and we're saving all those people from terrorism, we're protecting the United States of America. If you read a liberal article, it's going to say we just started World War III, we're mass murderers, we're only doing worse for the human race. So if you only read one article, there's a good chance you're going to be reading the wrong stuff. So that's a bias, it's that favoritism. 3, evaluating your sources. I hope to goodness you all don't believe what you see on social media. You could go on social media. I went on the one day and it said that one of the Supreme Court justices died. Where did I read it on? Facebook. Was it a lie? Absolutely. You have to know what you're reading. So when it says evaluating your sources, make sure that you're reading something solid. And last, identifying propaganda. If you look at funny political cartoons or something poking fun at someone, there's a good chance there's a little bit of political humor behind it, but you can't really take propaganda seriously. It's just a joke. So, 4 ways of evaluating the media, breaking it down. Separate facts from opinion. I have a headband on. Fact: it's beautiful. Opinion: detecting bias. Is this article favoring one side over the other? Evaluating your sources. Am I reading this off Instagram or am I reading this off CNN? And identifying propaganda. Where's the joke behind it or where's the facts behind it? Now let's take this and see how the mass media affects elections. So a lot of the times during the 2016 election, you would go on news station, the first thing you would see is a picture of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. If you didn't know these two people were running for office, you lived under a rock. So the first thing mass media does is it identifies who's running. We need to know as the people who's running for president, who wants to be in the Supreme Court, who wants to be a congressman. So the media lets us know that. 2, emphasize selected issues. Look what happened on United Airlines. The big issue is police brutality and how security and police treat us citizens when we don't have the power. Is there equal power? So when you go on any really news media, that's one of the first things you're going to see is that selected issue. Writing editorials and op-ed pieces, this is where citizens get the opportunity to write in their opinion. So if I wrote into the Washington Post about my viewpoint on growing more apple trees in public places, I might be seen as a very, very third party, Green Party person. In my opinion, we should have apple trees everywhere. We should take down buildings except schools and grow more apple trees. When you read that, does that mean it's going to happen? No, this is just a way for citizens to voice their opinions. And last, the media should broadcast different point of views. When you read a good article, it should have both conservative and liberal point of view. You should know what both sides are thinking.